All right, we are out of the studio today, Sunil.
Good to be out.
On this lot filled with rocks and dirt and piles of wood.
That's right, exactly.
And we are going to give you guys a live look-in at one of our latest real estate projects. Stand by. All right, welcome to this edition of the HyperFast Wealth Show. I'm here with Sunil Saxena on one of our project sites.
Right, here we are. I think last time we were here, Dan, there was a house standing behind us, wasn't there?
There was a house.
I remember a house being here.
Some of our team members helped swing a couple sledgehammers.
Exactly.
I held a sledgehammer for, I don't know, probably less than 10 times in my life.
Right, exactly. I think I held one. I didn't actually swing it, but I held one. But yeah, as you can see, we've made progress over here. The house is down. The site is scraped, pretty much ready to go. We've got guys coming either, I think later today or probably first thing tomorrow morning to continue the site work. We're going to be starting to dig the foundations. We actually have two houses going in here, like we talked about last time. So one kind of over there and one over here. Pretty big lot. So it should be nice. You know, it's a process, but we're making it through.
Yeah. So what, just for the people who don't have any experience building and developing in DC, what goes on in getting to, you know, where we were last time with the house there, the lot subdivided and all that? Like, how do you get from there to actually knocking it down to now about to dig the foundation? Because a lot more goes on than most people might think.
Oh, it's we could spend a whole hour just talking about that, which I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me talking about all that stuff. But yeah, basically it's just a permitting process. So we've actually got all the permits we need now for both houses. We just got there was an extra permit we needed for this house over here, and we just got that. I think it was 2 days ago. But right now we just have there's a site inspector who just wants to make sure everything is right before we actually start. So he came by last week and gave us a couple items to work on, and that's actually what we're doing right now. So this week we'll work on those items, hopefully get those done, and then he'll come back out, make sure it's all good, and then we can start digging the basement. So we're kind of just in that little, we just happen to be in that little zone right now where we're waiting on that.
So digging the basements. There's some more site work, right? A couple more trees are going to be coming down.
Have to come down, right?
What happens next? We'll start to form up the foundation and get the concrete guys in here.
Yeah, exactly. You basically you dig the hole, so to speak, or dig the basements, and then you just start doing the footers or the foundation. There's inspections all along, so that's another process where we have to do part of it. Inspector has to come approve it, so that kind of goes back and forth. But yeah, the whole idea is to get the footers done and then build the basement walls, and then once you get to that point, you're just going to frame and kind of go from there. So that's where we're trying to get to ASAP.
And each step in the process, like a lot of people wonder, like, why does it take so long? Because when we were here last, you know, there was no leaves on the tree. I mean, it was, you know, we're coming out of winter, and now it's spring, you know, in the air. And each step of the way, though, you got to submit plans, and then there's comments, and there's a lot of times there's not consistency on the comments or how they interpret guidelines, and then you got to work on submitting revisions and responses to those, and then you're kind of playing this waiting game again. Right. So it's a lot more involved just because of the planning side than most people might think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything you said is 100% correct. I mean, it depends on the jurisdiction, really, because usually the delays are some sort of governmental agency slowing you down. So it typically goes by the county. So we're in Washington, D.C., which is its own county and state, kind of, where, you know, I build in Arlington.
Not quite a state, though.
It's not, right. It's whatever you want to consider it. So it's a county, state, city, whatever it is. But I build in Arlington as well, which is the county right next to us, in Virginia, though, different state. So it's very different. And like you said, it depends on who you get out on site. Some inspectors pick on certain things, others on other things. They want you to go back and get some plans approved, and it's just a process. And I think that, you know, if somehow we can improve the governmental process, everything would go a lot quicker. But it is what it is. And the construction part usually goes relatively quick. I mean, you've seen houses go up where, you know, once we kind of get past that foundation, things really go pretty quick. But yeah, it's just, you know, checks and balances along the way that we have to make sure that everything's being done properly, and the whoever's overseeing us is happy.
And one of the things I really enjoy about working with Sunil is very, very good at anticipating what the next step 2, 3, 4, 5 ahead are going to be.
Right.
So, you know, tell people, like, what are you doing as you're waiting to kind of line up the work so that we're not getting the approval and then sitting around for 2, 3, 4 weeks like you see with some people.
Yeah, I think, you know, anybody who's experiencing construction, that's a very, very important point you just brought up, and we talked about it on our meetup we had last night. Is that, you know, you know what all the phases of the project, right? So there's the kind of the pre-construction phase. There's about, I break the actual construction into about 5 phases. So you pretty much, while you're working on this phase, you already should be anticipating what's going to be needed in the next phase and just start getting those things ready. For example, we're you know, kind of doing phase 1 of the construction now, which would be digging the hole, putting the basement in. Once we get to framing, we're going to need windows. That's one that always holds us up. So order the windows early, because they can take 5 or 6 weeks to come in, depending on the manufacturer you're using. So just little things like that to kind of know that even though we're in phase 1 right now, let's look at phase 2 and 3, at least a couple phases ahead, and see what's going to be needed. And even towards the end of the project, that's where things get stuck again, because you need your occupancy, and there's always a checklist of stuff that you need for your occupancy. So start working on that right away, as soon as possible, so that when you get to that point, you can start just handing people stuff instead of waiting to get it done at that point. So, yeah, I try to do that as much as possible, and that, you know, typically saves time. But again, there's always snags potentially as well.
I think that's a good takeaway, not just for construction business, but really any business. Like, you know, don't wait for step 1 before you start planning for step 2, and then wait for step 2 before you start planning for step 3, because then you add in all this time, and speed of execution is really what separates good or even failing businesses from the really, really great ones. So you always got to be thinking, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead, and how can you minimize that time, that waiting period, so that you're always moving the ball forward, always getting work done.
Right. No, absolutely. I agree. Business, life, everything. Just kind of anticipate what's coming. You know what's coming. It's not like a pop quiz, so to speak, where it's like, oh my God, I don't know what's coming. You know exactly what's coming. So again, on construction, going back to that, we have spreadsheets where we look at it, and we have checklists of, in each phase, this is what we need to get done, and then we always are looking ahead. Hey, is there anything we can do now that'll help, you know, kind of make that phase go smoother? Because we have time, right? Phase 2 is still 30 to maybe 60 days away, so we have, you know, a month or 2 to sit here and say, okay, let's get this document ready, let's get this ready, let's have the windows ready, let's make sure all our subs are lined up. If there's any approvals we need, let's get those now instead of waiting till we start phase 2. So yeah, I mean, great point.
Yeah, that was great to see on this project. You know, the permits were, you know, approved just a few days ago. People were out here working yesterday. They're getting more equipment and coming back later today. Tomorrow there's going to be a lot of activity on this site, and over the next 5 to 6 months as we finish this project. So it's going to be great to come back, check in with you guys, give you guys an update, a look in on these beautiful 2 homes that we're putting up. And anything else that we should tell people today?
No,
we're out here on this amazing day.
Great, beautiful day here in this all springtime, I guess. But no, I think it's going to be a great project when it's done. I'm actually really looking forward to the final product, which, you know, we're getting closer and closer. I think it's going to be some, you know, great homes for some, you know, lucky homeowners to live in, to enjoy what we're building here. But yeah, I think you covered it. I mean, you know, great points we had today, and looking forward to, you know, maybe having some more updates along the way.
Yeah, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our episodes and get to see us as we update you on the progress of this project and others. And if you want 10 of our best real estate investing tips, go to hyperfastwealth.com, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you want to see more videos like this, click right here. And if you want 10 tips from Sunil and I on how we've built wealth through real estate, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to the channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And let me know in the comments what you think about the videos. I read them weekly, and I pick winners at random. And I give out stuff like hats, shirts, coaching calls with me, and tickets to some of our events. I'll see you next time.